I sound like a broken record. We are 9 episodes in, and this season is just giving and giving and giving and giving and giving. Like, we didn't even have an elimination, and this episode was still good. Still good. This cast, I'm telling you, I feel like crying. I feel like MTV has finally found the formula again. Like, y'all know we've literally gone season after season after season after like probably season 34, I want to say, whatever season War of the Worlds 2 was. In my opinion, that was the last good season. And they have struggled to find just new casts that actually stick. They hit it with this cast. Like, they have a good mix of the old vets, a good mix of like old vets, new vets, fresher vets, like more seasoned vets, and then the new threats. I'm telling you, these rookies are so entertaining to watch. Every last one of them is contributing, except for really Tay and Adrian. They're like give or take, but they're not bad though. I enjoy watching them though. But they have so many strong new threat players that I can see really like coming back for multiple seasons and actually carrying the show. Like the Sydneys, like the Leos, like the Cedrics, like the D's, like the who else? Y'all know, like Yeremi, all of them, like they really are giving what I want to see in these challenges, and I'm really enjoying the season. But subscribe if you're new. Do that real quick. Thumbs up the video. Do that real quick. It's free of charge. It helps me so much. Y'all know I post out of the algorithm, which means I don't post the day that most of the attention gets there. So help me with that. That pushes me back in there. And yeah, let's get into this episode. We didn't even have an elimination, like I said. Like, but we had some mess at that daily mission. But let's get into it. All right, so we get back where we left off, which was after the elimination. CT just won, and him and Yeremi are pretty much talking and whatnot. And Yeremi's telling us like nobody essentially is going to get past the whole Justice for Lekka thing until CT's gone. Basically, like he's not going to give up until CT is out of there. But with him still being in the house, him knowing that CT can't do climbing, he can't do heights, he can't swim. He's gonna be near the bottom of the leaderboard in terms of the points. So he feels good about that. But CT proved that CT still is CT in this mini final, but we'll get to it. But Theo sitting there talking about how he's excited about the individual part of the season, so he won't have any partner holding him down or whatever. And I wrote in my notes in the moment, I said, when have you carried any of your partners? Like, you the one that's been holding some people down, but he also performed, but we'll get to it. But everybody's sitting there talking about the pros and cons of picking X, Y, and Z because they know this particular day, this particular challenge is going to set them up to pick, or at least get the chance to pick. I cannot talk, y'all. Get the chance to pick their most prized player. So they want to get as many points today in this mission. Well, they didn't know this yet, but they want to get to the point where they can actually get points to put themselves in a good position to pick whoever they want to pick whenever they want to pick them. But every rookie girl essentially wanted Turbo, but we'll get to it. But Will and Nani, they outside making out. Nani sitting there wanting him as a partner. They then move into the house to continue their makeout session. He wants her as a partner as well. They end up in the bathroom. Nani's bracing herself in the confessionals because she's getting another round. And they had a little 7-minute quickie and they kept it moving. But Anissa ends up telling Jake that she basically would put her money on him. Like, she wants to take him to the end. She wants to win with him. And Ashley's like, honey, I don't think I can come first. Like, why do you think that you can win? Because Anissa was like, I will give you some of my money if I win. And she actually like, I don't even think I can win. I know you're not sitting here thinking that you can win. I said, but, and this gave old school, like the whole like hitting below the belt type deal where it wasn't too much below the belt, where it was salvageable because we all know Ashley can hit. But Anissa was like, why wouldn't I win? And Ashley's like, I mean, athletics, like look at you, basically like look at you and look at everybody else in here. And Anissa's like, I mean, shit. And she's saying this in her confessionals, like, I'm in the best shape of my life at this point. Like, and she is. If you're gonna talk about like the best shape of her life right now, she absolutely is. And she's like, I mean, I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. Like, if I want to win, I can win. And that's what she's supposed to be telling herself. But Ashley, she's now in the gym with Leo. Was she in there with Leo? Yeah, Leo, D, and Theo. And she's sitting there telling them, like, delusion is not a good thing to have in the world at this moment in time. If you think that you can beat Olivia and you can beat D, you're stupid. Talking about Anissa. And everybody in there laughing. But Anissa's in her confessional stating that just for her to show confidence in the body that she's in, the type of body that Ashley would die in, she just doesn't think that Ashley can handle the fact that she's basically empowered in her own skin. And I'm like, in this instance, I'm definitely I can see, okay, I'm on Anissa's side in this argument, but I can see Ashley's points, but I also see hers. I'm talking about Anissa's, but I'm really on Anissa's side because Anissa, I mean, at this point, she has to have confidence in herself. She is in the best shape of her life, especially the last couple seasons on this show. She does have the strongest shot that she's had in a while to win. Ashley, on the other hand, is not as strong as she usually is, so maybe that's why. But Anissa walks in and confronts Ashley, and Ashley's like, I mean, I feel like you're taking everything wrong. And Anissa's like, I mean, I'll be damned if I let Ashley tell me that I'm not capable of doing anything. So Ashley's like, I mean, if you think that you can beat these rookies, you're delusional still. And I was like, yeah, I see what you're saying, because like these rookie girls are really bringing it like that. But as we see later on, Anissa's pretty high up in the points, which is telling you that she's performing. Ashley is not high up in the points, so it's kind of interesting, which is it's weird because it's normally flips. But Jake is stating like he don't want to be partnered with somebody like Ashley. She's sitting here putting people down. Like, I don't want to work with her. But Leo, D, and America, they all watching, they all cracking up, and they going back and forth. Anissa and Ashley, they going back and forth, and Ashley ends up stating like, "You probably not gonna win this season. I'm probably not gonna win this season. I'm not delusional like you. I can't stand the fact that you're not honest with yourself. Telling bitches that you think that you can win is delusional." She ain't lying, but like I said, at the end of the day, you never know what could happen. But Anissa's track record, Ashley just going off of what she knows. But Anissa's like, I mean, if you don't support yourself, then who the fuck gonna do it? And I was like, exactly. And she's like, I don't know who you think you are, bitch. You don't play with me. And Ashley said, I'll play with you all day. I don't care how big you are. I'll knock your ass out, bitch. I said, here we go. And I'm shocked MTV showed it, because y'all know MTV be trying to cut fights out here recently, but they showing it. This is why this season's good, because they actually showing the shit. But Anissa walks away stating that Ashley is still trash. And Ashley says the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And Nani's in there comforting Anissa, telling her, like, just chill at this point. But it's funny, though, because in that mid-season trailer, we see these two getting into it as well. Like, they always get into it. So we then see a scene of John A. and Sydney pretty much talking. They're looking at the board, pretty much trying to, like, strategize on who they want to pick. And John A. was like, I just want to be with somebody that can win. Basically, she knows she's not going to be able to pick because she's at the bottom. So basically, she just hopes that whoever she gets, she can win with. And Sydney's like, who do you want? And she's like, I mean, it really doesn't matter. I don't really have a chance. I don't really have a choice at this point, but I just want somebody that can win. But Turbo, he's pretty much trying to lock in a deal with him, Cedric, and Yeremi. I'm like, I'm here for this. Here for this. Just add Leo to the crew, and these is the dudes right here. But Michaela, she's in the lead with the girls. You already know that's my number one girl. That's who I'm rooting for. So I was rooting for her regardless, but her partner, perfect. But we'll get to it. But she knows that the new threat guys are killing it. She got her eye on one in particular, which happens to be Cedric. He also is looking at her as well. Olivia is right behind Michaela in the points, and she's also looking at Cedric. I said, uh-oh, here we go. As we all know, they've been like this. Y'all want to state, oh, it's just one-sided, but like, let's keep it real. Michaela is very reasonably and logically paying attention to Olivia. Like I just said, Olivia is right behind her in points. Why would Michaela want Olivia in this game? But we get to the daily mission, and we find out that it is the mini final. The mini final that happens every single season. So it's a lukewarm reaction from everybody because they know they got some work to do. But he pretty much, TJ tells them that today the points that they have are going to come into play. So he then tells them that the top 8 positions from the men and the women will get points, and today their points are worth 1.5. So first place is going to get 12 points. Second place will get 10.5, and then so on and so forth. All right, I had something to do. I'm back. But the standings. So the standings are currently with the women, the men, the new threats, and the new threat women. And the new threat men. I'm about to tell y'all where we are. Michaela has 38 points. Olivia has 33. Anissa has 30. Aviv has 22. Nani has 16. Ashley has 3. And John A has 2. I think it was 2 or 2. I have 22 written here, but I don't know if that's right. But regardless, that's where they are. The new threat women, Sydney's at the top with 32. Adrian is right there behind her with 28. I was shocked to see that. America has 22. I was shocked to see that. D has 14. Tay has 14. For the vet men, Turbo has 25. CT has 23. Derrick has 13. Leroy has 9. Theo has 6. Not shocked at the bottom 2 at all. But the new threat men, Will has 33 as well as Yeremi. So they're tied for 33 for the new threat men. Cedric has 30. Justin has 25. Leo has 24. Jake has 15. Gabe has 13. So that's where the points are. So you want to get some points, especially if you're at the bottom. Now, the mini final is called Broken Dreams. So they have to race up a trail. There's 5 checkpoints. So they're going to be covering 6 miles. They're climbing up 700 feet. So the first checkpoint, they have to memorize symbols to solve a math equation at the top. So the checkpoint number 2, they'll use the sum of that equation to unlock the box with nutrition. Y'all know it's crap in there. It's food. But that's in the box. TJ's laughing about it. But checkpoint 3, there's a puzzle tower where they're pretty much turning pieces until the symbols line up. Checkpoint 4, they have to line up 10 rows of chains. Now the chains, they're going to be at different lengths. So they're going to have to try and figure out which length is going to match to get the chains to all be at the same length over this little line. I forget what it was, but they have to get that to match. And then checkpoint 5, they have to grab letters one at a time. So they keep going back and forth getting these letters to solve a riddle. Once they finish that, race across the finish line, then your time is locked. So the top 8 men and women, like I stated earlier, they will receive points. The most points for the men and the women, like I told you, gets first pick at their partner for the rest of the season. So they begin. Sydney is first to the first checkpoint out of everybody. Will was first for the men to the second checkpoint. No, this is the second checkpoint at this point. Sydney was the first one. Will was the first one for the men. Michaela and Theo was second for the guys to get to the checkpoint. I was shocked Theo was second. But they have onions, garlic, and chili peppers that they have to eat. This gets really interesting. Sydney's out there telling Turbo and D the answer. And whenever she was telling the answer, I was like, is this the cheating that TJ's talking about? But we about to get to it. But she's now struggling with the food because it's onions and stuff. Me personally, I ain't never ate no onion raw. I don't like onions, period. So I probably would have been struggling with that. But they had onions, chili peppers, and what did I say the other one was? It was something else. But she was struggling with it. Everybody essentially was passing along that answer that she gave. And CT and Anissa, they were last to get to the checkpoint. No shock there. But most were struggling with eating that shit. Everybody's in there throwing up. I couldn't stand the angles that they were showing of the throwing up. Like, we don't need to see that. But, of course, CT, once he got to it, he mauling that shit. Mauling it. Eating the shit up with his big ass. But Turbo was like, this is my type of breakfast at home in Turkey. So he enjoyed it. So Turbo was the first one to finish. No shock there, honestly. So he takes off to go to checkpoint 3. Will was behind him. Theo was in third. Shock. CT was next to finish. No shock there because he was taking that shit down. Nani ended up being the first girl to finish. Keep that in mind. D, Sydney, and Olivia, they were next for the girls. Now we get to the third checkpoint. Turbo gets there first, and he's rotating the puzzles. Turbo ends up finishing it before anybody else got up there. So he's off to the fourth checkpoint. Will and Theo, they get up there next. Will finishes. Turbo sees him and is like, fuck you, Will. But Sydney gets to it first for the girls. Nani and D were right behind her. So Sydney finishes first. Michaela is still back there struggling to eat that food. But she sees an onion and a chili pepper back there on the ground. This is when it all started. So Derrick sees it too because she's sitting there talking about it. And Derrick's like, they need to go back and watch some cameras. And I was sitting there thinking to myself too, like, who the fuck gave them the okay to leave to go to the next checkpoint if they were out there? Because aren't you supposed to be paying attention to that? Because TJ typically would be there like, check. No, you did this, you did that, you didn't eat all this. So I'm like, how did this get like this? How did they get away with that? But Derrick says that Turbo's at checkpoint number 4 and he's hooking the chains up. Will comes up behind him. Theo surprisingly is still keeping up. Nani surprises me too. She's in second place for the girls headed to the 4th checkpoint. D's in third. Sydney is the first girl to get to checkpoint 4. So she's pretty much trying to make sure that she locks in with Turbo. Basically, they want to win this, so they make sure that they're at the top or at least near the top so that they can choose each other when it comes time to the picking. CT is in 4th place. And checkpoint number 2, we still got a crew back there. Leroy was back there, but Leo is struggling. He's pissed off because everybody done cheated. Like, most people done cheated. They still sitting there trying to actually finish it, but everybody else done cheated. They higher up, and in their minds at this moment in time, they're thinking that the people that cheated is going to get away with cheating and get higher points. We'll get to it. But Michaela finally finishes. Justin and Adrian, they do as well. Leo gets done. Tay and Anissa, they still down there with Derrick, America, and John A trying to figure it out. John A starts seeing all the shit too, and she starts chucking her shit too. She's like, well, fuck it. Everybody else done cheated. Let me cheat too then. So she's trying to rush up there. Anissa and Tay decide to start chucking their shit too, so they start running up there. So we get to checkpoint number 5, and Turbo is the first to finish for the men. first to finish for the men. He's off to checkpoint number 5, but he ain't even really understand what it was because it's a riddle. And we all know he's not from America. English ain't really, so he ain't really gonna know what these riddles really are. CT is second for the men. CT is moving. Moving. Big boy who? Moving. So Sydney, she gets up there first for the women. And she knows what the answer is for the riddle. So, of course, she's going to go tell who? Turbo. Because they want to work together and they want to be paired up together. So, of course, she's going to help him. So, they're working together through it. Ashley down there at checkpoint 4 crashing the fuck out because all these girls is passing her and you know she tripping. But CT is most impressed with Will, though. That's the thing, because Will is right there. Like, Will been right there with Turbo the whole time. And he's a new threat. And he's performing extremely well in the mini final. But Turbo ends up finishing overall first for the guys. And he finishes first out of everybody. He's waiting on Sydney, who then comes and finishes first for the girls. So they are the first 2 to finish, period. Men and women, they're the first 2 to finish. So you know they happy about it. But CT finishes second for the guys. Will was 3rd. Theo was 4th. Yeremi was 5th. Cedric was 6th. I didn't get who was 7th. I don't know if they even showed it, but I rewound it back a couple times, but I didn't see it. Gabe was 8th. So that's the final points. Leo was 9th. Abiv was 2nd for the girls. D was 3rd. Olivia was 4th. Ashley was 5th. Nani was 6th. Michaela was 7th. Johnny was 8th. Leroy ended up beating a lot of them people to that last checkpoint and still got lapped. Was it the last checkpoint? It was, regardless, whatever it was, he beat a lot of them to a certain point and got lapped. Him and America did not even finish because everybody else done finished at this point. So y'all dead last anyways. So after they finished, TJ then lets them know and pretty much stands there and tells them, y'all know I can't stand quitters. But one thing I hate more than a quitter is some fucking cheaters. And he was like, there was a lot of cheating going on with massive amounts of evidence. Obviously the cameras, which again, I'm like, so if there's the evidence there, then why didn't y'all see it when it happened? Like, that's what was blowing me. But he asked if anybody wants to confess to cheating, and nobody says anything. And he says, so as a result of that, we're scrapping the whole day. Y'all just did this whole mini final for no reason because ain't nobody getting no points. He says, wherever you finished coming into this with your points is where you're going to go when we go in that lock-in. That's where your points are going to be. So basically, you just did this whole mini final for no reason. Leo was pissed at first because he was back there trying to finish it out, knowing that people done cheated. So he's thinking that they're going to end up getting top pickings because they cheated, yet alone he didn't realize it's not even going to count at this point. So he happy to hear this. But TJ says, like, the points that you walked in with are the points that you're going to be walking into the lock-in with. So they head back to the house. John A is sitting there pretty much paranoid, trying to pretty much tell X, Y, and Z, I did this because of this and I did this because of that. Because she thinks in her mind that she's the only one that cheated, not realizing that everybody else cheated too. But Justin's like, I mean, I just don't like that paranoia, so he don't really want to work with her. There's no night out tonight. Nobody's going out they ain't going out on the town tonight. They having family dinner. So CT makes a toast to them, making it halfway throughout the season. And they start talking about the new threats and whatever, like how their experience is so far. They start talking about that. Will is the only new threat there that is bothered at this point. Like, he pissed off about the whole point shit and the cheating. So he's sitting there mad. And everybody else is lighthearted. And then he decides to finally speak. And everybody's still talking. And he's like, well, I'll wait. And they're like, oh. He's so passive aggressive. It's insane. But he then says, like, I know it's all good vibes right now, but I want to say, like, if you're supposed to be somebody's partner and you out here cheating, you ain't doing nothing but gonna fuck both of us over at this point. So I don't really want to work with somebody who's cheating. But the whole thing is, you don't really know who all cheated. But he's over there passive aggressively checking people. So-and-so is having side conversation. He over there checking them like, why y'all not listening to me while I'm talking? But Nani tells us that she knows it's going to be hard to kind of say, she knows it's hard to separate game from emotions, but at this point she knows Will is doing too much. Like, this is not the time to be doing this. So she knows in her mind right here, right now, it's probably best that they don't even work together as a partnership. Like, they don't, because we all know she wanted to be his partner. And she knows, like, we're not even on the same page when it comes to game. Like, yeah, they love being around each other and sucking face and but she knows essentially, like, him being her partner is probably not the best thing for it. But CT and Turbo had me laughing. They over there making side comments, talking shit. I was cracking up. But the next day, everybody essentially is pretty much like going through these motions, talking to each and everybody about possibly wanting to be each other's partners, kind of like weighing out the pros and cons. But Will is still spazzing out. Like, he's still tripping out. And Nani is telling him, like, you got to separate game from real life. And he's like, this is not real life. And she says, exactly. That's the point. Like, you doing too much. Like, relax. And he's still doing so. He's still hyped up and stuff. And he's sitting there stating, like, I'm going to say the shit that nobody else would want to say. And she's like, I know that, but that's like a problem. Like, you can't be out here just saying any and everything because you're going to put a target on your back. So she says, I'm getting frustrated because I'm sitting here trying to tell him, you have to understand that this is the challenge. Like, you making it hard for me to want to actually have your back and really protect you and be here for you because you making it hard for me at this point. I feel like you don't want me to do that. So she's sitting there talking, and as she's talking, I'm sitting there looking like she need to shave them teeth down. Like, them teeth are so they so distracting. But she says she has to separate herself from him because, like, it's just not gonna work when it comes to game. Obviously, they enjoy being around each other, but like, she like, it's probably best that we are on different teams. But we still get more of the same conversations. Everybody pretty much talking to each other about wanting to get each other as partners. So we're gonna get to the lock-in. The lock-in is at the arena. TJ lets them know that if you're tied in points, whoever placed the highest the most in the first 8 challenges will be the winner of the tiebreaker. As we know, Yeremi and Will had the same amount of points. Yeremi finished higher in more of the challenges than Will did. So he is the first choice for the men. But Michaela, the queen, she had the most points out of everybody, men included. So she has the first pick overall, and she chooses Cedric. They're excited. That's my team. That is my team, okay? That's my team. Yeremi and Aviv, also a good team. He chose Aviv. It just makes sense. Aviv is going to be easy to work with. She ain't going to trip out. She going to be easy. She going to pull her weight, too. So that's a strong team. First 2 teams, strong teams. Cedric and Michaela, strong. Yeremi and Aviv, strong. Olivia and Will, on paper, in terms of physicality and brains, strong team. Will, I can see Will going off on her if something don't go right. So that's going to be interesting to watch. Sydney chooses Turbo. That's a beastly domination. That's a dominating team. Like, that's a dominating team. Turbo's main gripe with her, though, is her mouth. She got to control that mouth, and then we can get to the finals. Anissa is next, which was funny because Anissa's like, I got more points than Ashley. It's true, and it is funny. But she chooses Jake. They have a really good partnership, a good friendship. The times that I remember them playing together earlier in the season, they performed well. So that's a good team. Adrian chooses Theo. He ain't really too confident in her, honestly. Justin and Nani. Leo and Ashley. That's a chaotic team right there. That's a chaotic team right there. But Ashley's happy because she knows that Leo and Jake are best friends, which Jake is partnered with Anissa. So if Anissa wants to try and get Ashley out, Jake ain't gonna do it because Jake don't want his best friend going home. That's Ashley's mindset, but we'll see. But CT and Tay, they're partners together. America and Leroy, that's the weakest team. Weakest team. D and Derrick, they're partnered together. And Gabe and Johnny. She's optimistic and she's excited because she knows that Gabe is a physical threat. Watching how he beat Bananas, she's like, nobody's gonna want to go down there with him. He ain't happy about Johnny. I'm like, that's a 2-time champ that you worked. Like, you got a 2-time champ. You could have had worse. You could have had America, but you got Johnny. Like, tighten up. But TJ lets him know going forward, y'all are going to be eliminated in pairs going forward. They trying to speed up this season. At this point, we still got a lot of people. Because, yeah, if they did it individually, we would probably have about 40 episodes. So we are getting to it. But the mid-season trailer looked good. That's why I told y'all this season is probably the best season in a long time. Not probably. It is. So the challenges are looking crazy. We saw Anissa versus Nani. Theo and Turbo going at it. I said, oh, love it. Nani trying to get tough with either Michaela or Cedric. Regardless, you better watch your mouth, Nani. Don't piss me off. You know I've been on your side. Don't piss me off. But yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good. I struggled through this one because I've been talking. If y'all don't follow my channel, you don't know. But I be on here every day. Sometimes twice. Sometimes 3 times a day. And I work a real job. A real job. 2, I work a real job and I'm a personal trainer too. And then I come home and do this. I be talking all day long. So if you love me, just give me a thumbs up. It helps me so much. It helps me so much. But get in the comments, subscribe, and I will see y'all next week. Peace.